Hello everyone, welcome back to Journey Teachers. Coming to the interview process of Ashoka University. It was a 15 to 20 minute long interview call. That's it. The result of the Ashoka University, of getting into Ashoka University, is completely based on how you perform in your interview. Be very careful. I was very nervous before giving the interview for Ashoka University. Although it wasn't the first interview, I had given many other interviews before, but I was a little nervous as well. Just read about the course, the curriculum as well, and about the university as well. And at the time when my interview was to be held, the matter on a political matter on Ashoka University was going on. So I was also I thought that they would ask me questions based on that as well, to check my general knowledge and to check my the presence of mind in how much I'm interested in getting into Ashoka University, maybe that, but that wasn't the case. So when the interview started, they told me to introduce myself. I told the introduction, where I belong to, and all the things about myself as well. And then there were two ladies, there were two teachers, and not teachers exactly, they were from the admissions team. And as there were two ladies from the admission teams, there wasn't any professors, so they were not punctual as well. They were 5 or 2 to 4 minutes late, I think. So don't be panicked. Don't panic and just wait patiently. When I finished with my introduction, then one of them said, "Now, leaving all the adjectives you covered in your introduction, then tell me about yourself." I was hell confused that what is happening. Like I said pardon, and she said, yeah, because we don't know about you, and how can we judge you? Like you are saying, you are hardworking. How do we know in one-on-one introduction, in the first time interaction, that you are hardworking? This is just an example. I did not say I'm hardworking. I'm not. Okay. So they said that in one-on-one interaction for the first time, how can we tell that whether you are hardworking or not? So leaving all these adjectives, then tell about yourself. You understand? It was a tricky question for me, because we as students, we are prepared with the introduction, and just a रट्टी होती है, we can say the introduction was रट्टी हुई to me, and then she said that leaving that, then tell me about yourself, and I was a little confused. I took some time, a few seconds maybe, and just whatever came to my mind, I spoke. The major discussion in the Ashoka University's interview, I have told you before this as well, it was based on the course preference which I submitted in the application. So be very careful about the course preference. Very careful. This is an alert. Please be very careful. Because I did this mistake. I wasn't sure, but I just filled it randomly, and then they asked me questions based on that. Like I filled one subject and they asked me questions based on that. Why do you want to do that? I'm a science student, so I filled in computer science and technology was my major preference. I can make combinations of science and arts, like computer science and some art subjects, some humanities subject. But the first preference I filled up was computer science. So computer science and engineering, or computer science and entrepreneurship, to be more specific, because this is one of the options in Ashoka University. So I filled up that, and they asked me questions related to what is coding and what platforms do you use for coding, and have you done any projects related to that, and explain about the projects, explain about the internships you did, what did you learn from them. There were many counter questions. There was a complete discussion. Okay, they just asked me a tricky question as well based upon I don't know, they were from admissions team, but why they were asking me technical questions, engineering based questions they asked me. I answered some of them and almost all of them, but I think they weren't satisfied enough, and one of the teachers was constantly arguing and was constantly counter questioning whatever I was saying. She wasn't satisfied. She wasn't accepting what I'm saying. She was just putting me questions on me. But I think this is only what an actual interview does. Like, they have to check your confidence. They have to check how stable are you, how do you handle situations. So I think this is an actual interview. So now one of the teachers asked, another one this time, do you read? What kind of books do you read? This was one of the questions in the application as well. Major part of the interview is based on what you submit in or what you would actually write in your application. We were very careful regarding that. Okay, so this was the question based on reading and based on the general knowledge of what's happening around as well. How familiar are you with current affairs? There wasn't any question regarding to COVID, or there wasn't any question regarding general to test my general knowledge, but they were just asking, do you read newspapers, do you read books, and how well aware are you with the current situation or what's happening around in the world. And actually one teacher was going to ask me a question related to current affairs, basically related to COVID, but another one just stopped that, and she said that we shouldn't get into this COVID thing and all, we shouldn't discuss about the COVID. And then yes, the interview was coming to the midway, and they were just asking me then general questions as well. There were many counter questions, as I told you before, and somewhat general questions. Where do you see yourself from 5 years from now? And the general questions based on internships, their learnings. And one thing I also told in the interview, that one thing they asked me in the interview, that how will your coming to Ashoka University will provide value or prove to be an asset to them and to me as well. I have to give them solid reasons for that. And again, I said some of the values that will be enhanced or I will be able to learn. But again, the same teacher counter question. She put the counter question on me. Then these values like discipline, honesty, teamwork, you are learning from your these many years in your school life as well. Then what will the university or the college help you in learning these values? Basically, my point was that we can enhance these values. But this question came up. I told them that we can enhance these values and we can improve these values by coming to the university. But she was like, she believed that we can learn these values, and we have been learning these values since the past years in our school life. So how will the university help in that? And there was that confusion. But I stopped that, and I did not continue for the massive debates to be held in a normal interview. So yes, one teacher was that counter question one, that strict one, and the other was a shy one. She was asking me general questions and she was asking me good questions. Okay, the other teacher was asking good questions as well. Actually, thought-provoking questions this teacher was asking, and this teacher was asking just normalized questions. So hats off to both of them. Okay, so then comes what else? Then also, further to confuse me or further to try and test, one of the teachers told that Ashoka University students are engaged into reading very, very nicely, and they read very, very often and regularly as well. And the current affairs are also a matter of a source of good knowledge. And the Ashoka University students are engaged into and engrossed into both of them. So are you that kind of student who has this capability? You just have to prove to them that you are suitable to coming to Ashoka University, and you can provide value by you being there in the university. Okay, then the interview came to an end, and just the last question was, any questions for me? So I asked them about the political scenario, which was the political news which was happening around the university, and she said that this is the matter of the authorities, and they do not have any right to say or interfere in this. So just like that. And I asked them another question as well related to the curriculum and the atmosphere, and related to the curriculum, the clubs, the atmosphere, and the teaching styles, and something like that. Something related to that. And then the interview was done, and it was a nice interview. It was an intermediate interview experience for me, and I knew that I did not perform really well, but I tried my best, and I tried giving the best answers to my knowledge. But let's see what the result comes. I received my result in the first week of June. Long gap. So the result day came. Okay, so the result goes like, I was deferred for the time period, but they will consider my 12th result as well. So clearly, I was deferred for the time period. I was deferred for the time being, but once my 12th result is released, I have to send them my result, and accordingly, they will take a decision then. What do you think? Will my result come? Tell in the comments. I think if I score good in 12th, which is to be released by my school, if I score good in that, maybe I get selected in Ashoka University. What do you think? We shouldn't lose hope. Wish me luck. Interview is the main thing to get into Ashoka, and I just did a little gadbad in the interview, so I'm not very upset, but kind of, but no, it's okay. They'll reconsider my application if I score very well in my 12th boards. So I have got the hope, and maybe I can get into Ashoka. Okay, so guys, this is a technical thing, this is something which is technically not to be told, but I'll tell you. So when we fill in the details of the recommender, then the university sends an email to the recommender specifically. So you should have an active one who is able to reply according to the needs of the university. So the needs of the university, there were basically three main points. Ashoka University will not accept any letter of recommendation which is used for more universities as well. It demands specifically based to Ashoka University. The conditions or the needs of the university for the recommender to reply was one or more positive characters which makes the applicant unique. This is the number one condition. It should be written in the LOR. Okay. Second is one or more areas of development which the applicant could improve. Third, how and why you will be an incentive if accepted in curriculum and the community life. And the mention of Ashoka University, it means that the LOR should be specific to Ashoka University. And these were the three main points to be covered in the LOR by the recommender, by your recommender, by the applicant's recommender. And the limit, there was a word limit. It has to be submitted on the link provided by the Ashoka University in the email to the recommender, and the word limit was 450 words. Okay. Are you thinking that I, as a student, how do I know these details? I had a very friendly recommender, and she told me. Simple. My recommender was a teacher only, but she was a teacher cum friend. She is a teacher cum friend to me, so she told me these details. Sorry about that, but you understand. But it is the truth. What to do?
But it is the truth. But it is the truth.
The end. This was literally everything I know about my experience, and it was literally everything. It was my experience about the Ashoka University process. If you have any questions, if you want anything from me, if you want my help, do tell me in the comments. I'll be happy and eager to help you. Bye for now. Coming up in the next videos very soon. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe to Journey Teachers.